Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Heartwork Hub podcast, where we learn, grow, and share together. Today, I'm so happy to announce my guest, who is a wellness coach and massage therapist. So I'm going to turn it over to Araina for today. Araina, can you tell me a little bit about yourself or tell our listeners a little bit about yourself today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Tracy. I am excited to be here. Like Tracy said, I am Araina Linton. I am a licensed massage therapist. I am a wellness coach and an entrepreneur for going on, I think we hit 11 years of massage artistry this year, which is really exciting.
Wow.
So I work a lot with people who are passionate about what they do and just looking about ways to make it more sustainable. And I do that with my massage work. We talk about ways to alleviate pain and stress so that they can keep doing what they love for a really long time. And then I've also done coaching with entrepreneurs because burnout is real, and entrepreneurship is lonely. So it's all about finding their center, creating a healthy work life balance so that they can keep loving on their business and keep doing what they love for a really long time.
That sounds amazing. And I can tell you from experience in trying to get my business up and running that the burnout is real and the community
Hmm.
building is so important. So it's wonderful to hear that you're doing that within your business.
Absolutely.
So, how about telling me, you already kind of hit on it, but maybe a little bit more. What is
Hmm.
one thing that you're really passionate about?
Yeah. I would say uh, it's really about helping entrepreneurs and people who are in the workforce really understand that wellness and self-care is really important, and it needs to be woven into your business plan, because burnout will really sneak up on you. So it's all about creating healthy ways and letting people know in tangible, relatable, and very simple ways of like things that they can do every single day to help them decrease their stress, to find what they love, to tip the scales back in their like in their favor when like life gets really heavy. You have all of these responsibilities weighing heavily on your shoulders and just no healthy outlet. So I'm really passionate about helping them create a healthy work-life balance that looks good and feels good for them, so that they can keep their health intact, both physical and mental, because it's really important. And I feel like in school, we get so wound up on like doing all of the things that we have to do that we forget the things that we love doing.
I feel
And then,
that.
yeah. And it's just like, I can't, and, people look up like 2, 3, 4 years later. It's just like, I don't know what I love anymore. I don't know what I like anymore. And I really don't know how to manage all of this stress that has been building and just keeps coming nonstop. So I'm really passionate about helping people figure out their perfect balance because it looks different for every single person. But also like keeping not just like their head afloat, but like enjoying this thing called life because life is too short to just work all of the time nonstop.
Trust me, I feel you on that one. And you said you've been doing this business for about 11 years. At what point did you
Mhm.
realize that this wellness piece and this balance piece was something you wanted to focus on within your business?
I think it started to become really apparent. Well, for me, I think about like 2 years in to building my massage business, I started to burn out. Um, and as I kind of navigated that and figured out my own plan, I started to, I got into a good place, I started to hear these common themes with my clients of like, I'm stressed out, I'm overwhelmed, I'm not sure how long I can keep operating like this. So after I went through it, I started to hear the same themes in my clients. And from there, it really started to be about like, all right, let's bridge this gap of like where you currently are, which is like stressed, overwhelmed, frustrated, quite frankly, a little resentful. and let's get you feeling to like feeling good in your body. Let's talk about how we can alleviate this pain and this stress and like get you to where you want to be. So I'd say that transition happens about 4 years into me building my business and really started focusing on like, there's this connection between the pain that you're feeling in your body and the stress that you feel every single day. Like they're absolutely related. So, I can work on you with the on the table for 60 or 90 minutes to alleviate this neck and shoulder pain that you're feeling. But the real transformation happens in your everyday life and the things that you're doing, the ways that you're managing your stress so that you can stop feeling that pain so often. So it was very connected as far as like, okay, like I can treat the body, like we can figure this out. But unless we address like where the stress is coming from, you're going to find yourself in this pain cycle over and over. So about like 4 years into my massage business, it was about let's create more of a connection between your body and your mind. And let's really start to create a transformation in how you feel every single day.
I can totally relate to that, especially working now in my own entrepreneur business and being on the
Mhm,
computer all the time. It's a different level of stress that I had when I was in the classroom directly, but I feel
mhm,
sort of pressure on myself. And I do feel those physical pain points from the way I
mhm.
sit and just kind of the outside influences that filter into your
Absolutely.
business, because when you are an entrepreneur, I think it's sometimes hard to separate that personal life and that professional life because they seem to
Mhm.
intermix so much. Um,
Absolutely.
so if you had, I'm going a little off script now, but if you
No, it's
had
fine.
one tip to offer me or a listener who might be similarly in
Mhm,
those beginning stages of building and trying to
mhm.
balance, what would you suggest?
I think the awareness is huge. I think that is the first step of like, this is uncomfortable. Um, this is not sustainable. Um, and I want to make the change. The awareness first is huge. So if you're in this place where you're feeling it, like that's the first step. Some people operate in a place of like discomfort for way too long. Um,
That's a really good point.
yeah, so the awareness is key. And then from there, I have a training. It's like how to create a healthy work life balance as an entrepreneur. And we talk about the shifts that need to happen, like your mindset, and some tangible things that you can do every single day in like 15 minutes or less to help alleviate your stress. So I'd say check out the training. It's completely free. And it can give you your first tangible steps to like getting off the path of burnout.
Oh, and I love that it's only 15 minutes a day because that's
Yeah,
another part of the burnout piece is you're so busy with so many things. It's like, how do I fit
absolutely.
one more thing in? So
Mhm,
awesome. I'm definitely gonna have to link that and check that out for sure. So my next question is kind of along the same lines of what you're passionate about, but a little bit more
mhm.
specific in terms of you and what makes your heart happy. When are
Okay,
you happiest and like when do you
okay,
how do you express that in your life? Like what makes your heart happy? And this could be
okay, yeah, it's a couple of things. So we're talking professionally or personally? Is
anything.
it
It's really
okay.
it's a personal question, so it could be a
Mhm,
combination. It's
okay.
really up to you.
What makes my heart happy is just, like, first off, snacks. Like, I love
Yes.
snacks. Any kind of pastry, anything sweet, like, I'm for it. Um, but also besides that, books. I love books. Books make me happy. I'm a big paranormal, psychological thriller, mystery, fantasy, romance kind of reader.
Me too. So I think we're gonna have to
Are
start
you?
giving each other recommendations.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that makes my heart happy. But yeah, so I just like a new book, like diving into a world, getting lost in a love story. And I'm a big fan of like collecting now, like special edition, like gorgeous hardcover books. Like I have a bookshelf of like all of these like trinkets and like gorgeous books with like sprayed edges. Like I
Ooh,
love collecting books now. So book mail makes me happy, buying books, book events, all of the things. So
I
yeah,
love that. I love that. When I was a kid, I used to envision myself having one of those big libraries with the sliding ladder. I just had this
that
room where I could just be like surrounded.
absolutely. Like the Beauty and the Beast, like huge library. It is on my vision board. A
Yeah,
library with like the sliding ladder. Absolutely.
I love that so much. Awesome. Well, this maybe is similar, but what do you do to practice self-care? So you're a wellness coach and you give advice to
I
other people and you help other
mhm,
people implement that in their life. So how do
mhm.
you practice self-care? What does that look
Yeah,
like for you as a wellness
yeah.
coach and a massage therapist?
Absolutely. I think it's really important to note that in different seasons of my life and of everyone's life, self-care will look a little bit different. So like BC is like what I like to call like before children. My
Yeah.
self-care would look a little bit different. I would have a little bit more space and like breathing room to do all of the things. But at the core, and it's something that I teach my clients about is just like your blueprint of self-care and like all of the different buckets of like areas that you need to pour into to create a healthy and like balanced self-care plan. The frequency of how I do them looks a little bit different before children than it does now. But in the season of life right now, what I lean really heavily on is like I read every single day before I go to bed. You know, in the summer, I'll read on the balcony. In the fall, I'll read on the couch with a cozy blanket and like tea or hot chocolate. So reading is really huge for me. Journaling occasionally. Massage, chiropractic sessions, or acupuncture. Any combination of those three are really essential for me to be able to do my job really well because I have a very physical job. So I'm like moving people's body parts and stretching and all of those things. So I have to take care of my body and especially my hands. So doing one of those things every 4 to 6 weeks is essential for me to have been in business for as long as I have been. I think those are the biggest pillars of my business, of like not of my business, but like of my self-care plan. Those are the things that I really commit to in order for me to feel my best and to show up not only professionally, but like personally as a mom and a wife and like be my best self without like being like scary.
Yeah.
And all of those things. So I think those are the biggest parts of my self-care at this point.
That's great. I mean, it is so important that we think about how do we fill our own bucket? Because if we pour it
Mhm.
out so much and we're empty, then we have nothing left to give our family, our friends, our jobs, our colleagues, anything. So it is
Absolutely.
important to recognize when that bucket's getting low and start to
Mhm.
pick out those things that bring you that joy and that fulfillment and that self-care piece. Sal, you're going back to books on every theme here. So
Mhm.
that
I
is
told you that's my thing.
that's not a bad thing. I mean, now you're inspiring me to stop the scrolling at night and pick up a book again because that's probably
Mhm.
way better for my sleep anyway.
Fair, yeah. But you know, it's all about balance. It's cool to scroll and like enjoy like that kind of like that fills a different bucket, I feel like.
Yeah.
Um, Depending on like what you're scrolling on and like if you're engaging in all of that stuff, like that's good too. But as long as you're like have a healthy balance, it's like all in moderation for sure.
Yeah. And it goes back to your point of every person is different and we all have
Mhm.
different balances and different buckets and finding that what works for you and putting that into practice.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been so wonderful to talk with you today. And I'm just wondering if
Yeah,
you have anything else that you wanted to share and talk about, any projects that you have coming up that you'd love our
sure.
listeners to learn about.
Absolutely. If you are trying to figure out how to create a healthier balance, if you're looking for some tangible tips on like how to prioritize your self-care, I'm going to be starting a series on YouTube And you can also follow me on Instagram at Araina Linton, um, to just get some tips and like little bite-sized pieces of like how you can incorporate them in your everyday life.
Ooh, I'm so excited to follow along with this
Yeah,
series. So I
yeah,
cannot wait. And I will
yeah.
link it below. So for anyone who is watching right now, just go ahead and check the description and the link will be there for you to go and see what amazing program and advice you're going to get from Araina.
Thanks for having me, Tracy. This was really fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. So thank you so much for watching today. And thank you, Araina, for being here to give us such
Mhm.
great advice on how we can incorporate that wellness and balance into our life. And I'm pretty sure this is not the last time that we're going to talk to each other.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, don't forget to subscribe and we'll see you next time.